Hi everyone, Audrey Grace here again with another inclusion tip of the day. This tip is about microaggressions. Some of you are familiar with the concept of microaggressions, but I'll define it for you. Microaggressions are everyday verbal, nonverbal, and environmental slights, snubs, or insults, whether intentional or unintentional, which communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative messages to targeted persons based solely on their marginalized group membership. So it's important to know what a microaggression is and familiarize yourself as to what these look like, particularly in online environments. We know online that microaggressions are definitely not new to the online community, but we're spending more and more time on our computers. And online instruction in general can introduce more opportunities for bias and microaggressions. Just because students may feel anonymous or they may feel empowered by the ability to hide behind a screen. Communication also moves at a different speed online. So it's challenging to respond to a microaggression in the moment if you're on a Zoom call with a bunch of faces there and things are happening quickly. It can be a different kind of challenging to respond to a microaggression that was posted in a discussion board or group days ago, and you don't know whether and how you should respond. But just know that the impact of microaggressions does go beyond an online environment. So at least one study has shown that a students' experience of racial microaggressions online impacts their sense of the campus community and their ability to have a successful interracial relationship. And so that's why it's really important that we recognize microaggressions as they occur even online. And we'll talk about how to interrupt microaggressions coming soon. But one thing you can do is to set up connections with your students, with your coworkers, and build that community online. Find ways to connect with one another. And also set expectations for the behavior. Think about ways you can create guidelines and standards that empower you to respond in the moment or 2 days later if you need to a microaggression. The other thing is just to believe a victim of a microaggression when they report that a microaggression happened. A lot of us like to think the best of people, rightfully so, but what that happens is we discount the experience of others, or we experience them as being overly sensitive, or saying things like, well, they didn't mean it that way. But first and foremost, you just need to believe a victim when they say they've been harmed because of a microaggression. And that's the first step there. And then if you're the victim of a microaggression, or you witness a microaggression that impacts you, a member of your family or community, the first thing you want to do is practice self-care. We never ask victims of microaggressions to be the educators for everyone related to their entire life experience, and you shouldn't either. So if you're a victim of microaggression, it's not your job to explain to people why their words hurt you and how they hurt you and what they can do about it. Your job first and foremost is to be your best self, graduate, pass your classes, right? So practice self-care first and foremost, even if it means turning off your computer and walking away. And make that known to your faculty member that that's something you need to do for your own self-care. And so those are my inclusion tips related to microaggressions. I will talk a little bit more about how to interrupt microaggressions if and when you so choose to do so coming up. So please follow the Center for Inclusive Excellence on social media at Regis Inclusion,